Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama.
Govinda Adipur Govinda Adibhutam Govindam Govindam. Jai Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Shri Jaya Gauranita 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 Shri Shri Gauranita Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Chandra Jaya Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Kara More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kara More Oma Bina Kedayalo Jagata Samsare Patita Pavana Hetu Kava ओ समपतिता प्रभु न पाइबे आशा। महाप्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी। कृपा करो काना करो আমি দয়া করো সীতা পাতে হাতাইটা গোনা भट्ट जुगा के जीवा प्रभु लोकनाथ दया करो श्रीआचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास रामचंद्र संग्राम गे दारुका
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma Bandhu moye savadhana ade Bandhu moye savadhana ade Jahara prasade bhai e bhavatariya jai Jahara prasade bhai e bhavatariya jai Krishna prapti hoy Rama hoy de Krishna prapti hoy Rama hoy de Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koriya Aikya Arana Kari Hamane Asha Arana Kari Hamane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rate Dese Bhutama Gate Shri Guru Charane Rate Dese Bhutama Gate Je prasad pure sarva asha Je prasad pure sarva asha Chakudan dilo jai janme janme prabhu se Chakudan dilo jai janme janme prabhu se Divya gyan vidya prakashito I remember the place. I never talked. It is in Sham. Swami yesterday also. Yeah. Last time also, right? Sri Giriraj. Dasanaj Prabhu. That you have given class at Sham Chandra that evening. Guru Snana Maharaj. Yeah, yeah. And previous years I was there. Long back. When are you going? When are you big mark yearly once. Farmington is also. Visiting. I came from Hyderabad. Some break. Family is here. Oh. I used to come there in college. 4 o'clock.
Hare Krishna Deepa Mataji, Dandat Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Mataji, I made you host Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, by any chance, do you have 2.7 ka scan?
No Mataji, I'll share today Mataji.
No problem, Prabhuji. Then we'll start with the next one. Don't worry, you take your time.
Okay. Today Chaitanya Charita finish Mataji 2.2.
ఇంకో 6 శ్లోకాస్ ఉన్నాయి ప్రభుజీ, దాంతో ఫినిష్ అయిపోతుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే మత యాక్చువల్లీ మనం అదే రెండు అయిపోయిన తర్వాత చేస్తాం మత సుబోధిని.
అవునా?
అవును మత.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
ఓకే.
ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ. ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ. ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ. ఓం అజ్ఞానతిమిరంధస్య జ్ఞానాంజనశలాకయా చక్షురున్మిలితం యేన తస్మై శ్రీ గురవే నమః. శ్రీచైతన్యమనోభీష్టం స్థాపితం యేన భూతలే స్వయం రూపా కదా మహ్యం దదాతి స్వపదాంతికం. నమో విష్ణుపాదాయ కృష్ణపృష్ఠాయ భూతలే శ్రీమతే భక్తివేదాంత స్వామినితి నామినే. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We'll start with Srimad Bhagavatam 2.7.47. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What is realized as the absolute Brahman is full of unlimited bliss without grief. That is certainly the ultimate phase of the supreme enjoyer. The personality of Godhead, he is eternally void of all disturbances and is fearless. He is complete consciousness as opposed to matter, uncontaminated and without distinctions. He is the principal. He is the principal, primeval cause of all causes and effects, in whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities, and in whom the illusory energy does not stand. Purport. The supreme enjoyer, the personality of Godhead, is the supreme Brahman or the Samam Bonam, because of his being the supreme cause of all causes. The conception of impersonal Brahman realization is the first step due to his distinction from the illusory conception of material existence. In other words, impersonal Brahman is a feature of the absolute distinct from the material variegatedness, just as light is a conception distinct from its counterpart darkness. But the light has its variegatedness, which is seen by those who further advance in the light, and thus the ultimate realization of Brahman is the source of the Brahman light, the supreme personality of Godhead, the Samam Bonam, or the ultimate source of everything. Therefore, meeting the personality of Godhead includes the realization of the impersonal Brahman as realized at first in contrast with material illusion. The personality of Godhead is the third step of Brahman realization. As explained in the first canto, one must understand all three features of the absolute Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Pratibodha Matram is just the opposite conception of material existence. In matter, there are material miseries, and thus in the first realization of Brahman, there is negation of such material miseries, and there is feeling of eternal existence, distinct from the pangs of birth and death, disease and old age. That is the primary conception of impersonal Brahman. Samukta Mataji chestara? It's a long one, I think.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Cheyandi.
Yes, Mataji. The Supreme Lord is the super soul of everything, and therefore, in the supreme conception, affection is realized. The conception of affection is due to the relationship of soul to soul. A father is affectionate to his son because there is some relationship of nearness between the son and the father. But that sort of affection in the material world is full of limitations. When the personality of Godhead is met, the fullness of affection becomes manifested because of the reality of the affectionate relationship. He is not the object of affection by material tinges of body and mind, but he is the full, naked, uncontaminated object of affection for all living entities, because he is the super soul or Paramatma within everyone's heart. In the liberated state of affairs, the full-fledged affection for the Lord is awakened. As such, there is an unlimited flow of everlasting happiness without the fear of it being broken, as we have experienced here in the material world. The relationship with the Lord is never broken, thus there is no grief and no fear. Such happiness is inexplicable by words, and there can be no attempt to generate such happiness by fruitive activities, by arrangements and sacrifices. But we must also know that happiness, unbroken happiness exchanged with the Supreme Person, the personality of Godhead, as described in these words, transcends the impersonal conception of the Upanishads. In the Upanishad, the description is more or less negation of the material conception of things. But this is not denial of the transcendental senses of the Supreme Lord. Herein also the same is affirmed in the statement that the Supreme Lord is pure, Shuddham. The word Shuddham indicates that the senses of personality of Godhead are not made of the material elements. They are all transcendental. free from all contamination of material identification. And also the liberated souls are not devoid of senses. Otherwise, there cannot be any reciprocation of unhampered spiritual happiness exchanged between them in spontaneous, unbroken joy. All the senses, both of the Lord and of the devotees, are without material contamination. They are so because they are beyond the material cause and effects, as clearly mentioned here in Sadasat Param, Sad Asataha Param. The illusory material energy cannot work there, being ashamed before the Lord and his transcendental devotees. In the material world, the sense activities are not without grief, but here it is clearly said that the sense of the Lord and the devotees are without any grief. There is a distinction between the material and spiritual senses, and one should understand it without denying the spiritual senses because of a material conception. Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji, continue.
Yes, Mataji. The senses in the material world are surcharged with material ignorance. In every way, the authorities have recommended purification of the senses from the material conception. In the material world, the senses are manipulated for individual and personal satisfaction, whereas in the spiritual world, the senses are properly used for the purpose for which they were originally meant, namely the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Such sensual activities are natural, and therefore sense gratification there is uninterrupted and unbroken by material contamination. Because the senses are spiritually purified, and as such satisfaction of the senses is equally shared by the transcendental reciprocators. Since the activities are unlimited and constantly increasing, there is no scope for material attempts or artificial arrangements. Such happiness of transcendental quality is called Brahma Saukyam, which will be clearly described in the 5th canto. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Sandhya Mataji, are you available to read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In such a transcendental state, there is no need of artificial control of the mind, mental speculation or meditation as performed by the Jnanis and Yogis. One gives up such processes as the heavily King Indra forgoes the trouble to dig a well. Purport. A poor man in want of water digs a well and undertakes the trouble of digging. Similarly, those who are poor in transcendental realization speculate on the mind or meditate by controlling the senses, but they do not know that such control of the senses and achievement of spiritual perfection is simultaneously made possible as soon as one is factually engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Person, the personality of Godhead. It is for this reason that the great liberated souls also desire to be associated in hearing and chanting the activities of the Lord. The example of Indra is very appropriate in this connection. King Indra of heaven is a controlling deity or demigod for arranging clouds and supplying rains in the universe. And as such, he does not have to take the trouble to dig a well for factually engaged in loving service of the Lord have attained the ultimate goal of life, and for them there is no need of mental speculation to find out the true nature of God or his activities. Nor do such devotees have to meditate upon the imaginary or real identity of the Lord, because they are factually engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Lord's pure devotee have already achieved the results of mental speculation and meditation. The real perfection of life is therefore to be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Lavanya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.
Text 49. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The personality of Godhead is the supreme master of everything auspicious, because the results of whatever actions are performed by the living being is either the material or spiritual existence are awarded by the Lord. As such, he is the ultimate benefactor. Every individual living entity is unborn, and therefore, even after the annihilation of the material elementary body, the living entity exists, exactly like the air within the body. Purport. The living entity is unborn and eternal and is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2.30. The living entity is not exhausted even though the material elementary body is vanquished. As long as the living entity is in the material existence, actions performed by him are rewarded in the next life or even in the present life. Similarly, in his spiritual life, also actions are rewarded by the Lord by the 5 kinds of liberation. Even the impersonalist cannot achieve the desired merging into the existence of the Supreme Being without being favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.11 that the Lord awards similar results as one desires in one's present life. The living entities are given freedom to make their choice, and the Lord awards them accordingly. It is the duty of everyone, therefore, to worship It is the duty of everyone, therefore, to worship devotedly only to the personality of Godhead to achieve his desired goal. The impersonalist, instead of speculating or meditating, can directly execute the routine devotional service of the Lord and thus easily obtain the desired goal. The devotees, however, are naturally inclined to become associates of the Lord and not merge into the spiritual existence, as conceived by the impersonalist. The devotees, therefore, following their constitutional instincts, achieve the desired goal of becoming servitors, friends, fathers, mothers, or conjugal lovers of the Lord. The devotional service of the Lord involves 9 transcendental processes, such as hearing, chanting, and by performing such easy and natural devotional services, the devotees achieve the highest perfectional results, far, far superior to merging into the existence of Brahman. The devotees are therefore never advised to indulge in speculating upon the nature of the Supreme or artificial meditating on the void.
Thank you, Mataji. We'll
Thank
give
you,
it to the
Mataji.
next person. Thank you. Yeah. Laltman Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. One should not, however, mistakenly think that after the annihilation of this present body, there is no body by which one can associate with the Lord face to face. The living entity is unborn. It is not that he is manifest with the creation of the material body. On the other hand, it is true that the material body develops only by the desires of the living entity. The evolution of the material body is due to the desires of the living being. According to the desires of living being, the material body develops. So, from the spirit soul, the material body comes into existence, generated from the living force. Since the living being is eternal, he exists just like the air within the body. Air is within and without the body. Therefore, when the external covering, the material body is vanquished, the living spark, like the air within the body, continues to exist. And by the direction of the Lord, because he is ultimate benefactor, the living entity is at once awarded the necessary spiritual body befitting his association with the Lord in a manner of sarupya, equal bodily feature, salokya, equal facility to live on the same planet with the Lord, sarishti, equal possession of opulence like that of Lord, and samipya, equal association with the Lord. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. The Lord is so kind that even if a devotee of the Lord cannot fulfill the complete course of devotional service unalloyed and uncontaminated by the material association, he is given another chance in the next life by being awarded a birth in the family of a devotee or rich man, so that without being engaged in struggle for a material existence, the devotee can finish the remaining purification of his existence and thus immediately after relinquishing the present body, go back home, back to Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In this connection, detailed information is available in Bhagavad Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. Once achieving the spiritual existence, the devotee is eternally situated there, as already discussed in the previous verse. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Raju Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Yeah.
Translation. My dear son, I have now explained in brief the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the creator of the manifested worlds. Without him, Hari, the Lord, there are no other cause of phenomenal and noumenal existences. But since we generally have the experience of the temporary material world and conditions so trying to lord it over the material world. Brahmaji explained to Narada Deva that is temporal world is the work of the external potency of the Lord, and that the conditions so struggling here for existence, all the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord, the potency, the personality of God. There is no cause of all phenomenal activities but He, Hari, the Supreme Lord, who is the primeval cause of all causes. This does not mean, however, that the Lord Himself is distributed impersonally. He is aloof from all these interactions of the external and marginal potencies. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.4, it is confirmed that by His potencies alone, He is present everywhere and anywhere. Everything that is manifested rests on His potency only, but He, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always aloof from everything. The potency and the potent are simultaneously one and different from another. One should not duplicate the Supreme Lord for the creation of this miserable world, just as one should not blame the king for creating prison house in the government. The prison house is necessary institution for the governmental establishment for those who are disobedient to the laws of the government. Similarly, this material world full of miseries is a temporary creation of the Lord for those who have forgotten Him and are trying to lord it over the false manifestation. He, however, is always anxious to get the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead, and for this, He has given so many chances to the conditioned souls via the authoritative scriptures, His representative and personal incarnations also. Since He has no direct attachment to this material world, He is not to be blamed for its creation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Narada, this science of God, Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken to me in summary by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it was spoken as the accumulation of His diverse potencies. Please expand this science yourself. Purport. The Bhagavatam is, in a nutshell, spoken by the Personality of Godhead in about half a dozen verses, which will appear ahead in the science of God, and it is the potent representation of the Personality of Godhead. He, being absolute, is non-different from the science of God, Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahmaji received this science of Godhead from the Lord directly, and he handed over the same to Narada, who in his turn ordered Srila Vyasadeva to expand it. So the transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Lord is not mental speculation by the mundane wranglers, but is uncontaminated, eternal, perfect knowledge beyond the jurisdiction of material modes. The Bhagavad Purana is therefore the direct incarnation of the Lord in the form of transcendental sound, and one should receive this transcendental knowledge from the bona fide representative of the Lord in the chain of disciplic succession, from the Lord to Brahmaji, from Brahmaji to Narada, and from Narada to Vyasa, from Vyasadev to Shukdev Goswami, from Shukdev Goswami to Sutta Goswami. The ripened fruit of the Vedic tree drops from one hand to another without being broken by falling suddenly from a high branch down to the earth. Therefore, unless one hears the science of Godhead from the bona fide representative of this disciplic succession, as above mentioned, for one to understand the theme of the science of Godhead will be a difficult job. It should never be heard from the professional Bhagavatam reciters who earn their livelihood by gratifying the senses of the audience. Samyukta Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
ఒక్క నిమిషం ఒక పారా మీరు చేయండి, ఒక పారా సంధ్య మాతాజీ. ఐ థింక్ ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఇస్ ద లాస్ట్ వర్స్ అనుకుంటా. సో ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ ప్లస్ వన్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ మీరు, నెక్స్ట్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ సంధ్య మాతాజీ.
Okay, Mataji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Please describe the science of Godhead with determination and in a manner by which it will be quite possible for the human being to develop transcendental devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Hari, the super soul of every living being and the summum bonum source of all energies. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is the philosophy of devotional service and the scientific presentation of man's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prior to the age of Kali, there was no need for such a book of knowledge to know the Lord and his energies. But with the beginning age of the Kali, human society gradually became influenced by four sinful principles, namely illegitimate connection with women, intoxication, gambling, and unnecessary killing of animals. Because of these basic sinful acts, man gradually became forgetful of his eternal relation with God. Therefore, man became blind, so to speak, to his ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is not to pass a life of irresponsibility like the animals and indulge in a polished way in the four animal principles, namely eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. For such a blind human society in the darkness of ignorance, Srimad Bhagavatam is the torchlight to see things in proper perspective. Therefore, it was necessary to describe the signs of God from the very beginning or from the very birth of the phenomenal world. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Sandhya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. As we have already explained, Srimad Bhagavatam is so scientifically presented that any sincere student of this great science will be able to understand the science of God simply by reading it with attention or simply by regularly hearing it from the bona fide speaker. Everyone is hankering after happiness in life, but in this age, the members of human society, blind as they are, do not have proper vision that the personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all happiness because he is the ultimate source of everything. Janmadhyasya yataha. Happiness in complete perfection without hindrance can be achieved only by our devotional relationship with him. And it is only by his association that we can get free of distressful material existence. Even those who are after the enjoyment of this material world can also take shelter of the great science of Srimad Bhagavatam and they will be successful at the end. Narada is therefore requested ordered by his spiritual master to present this science with determination and in good plan. Narada was never advised to preach the principles of Bhagavatam to earn a livelihood. He was ordered by his spiritual master to take the matter very seriously in a missionary spirit. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, important word.
Important verse, huh? Yes, please do the verse, Prabhuji. Me the turn at love.
మీరు చేయండి మాధవి ఈ మామూలుగా మనం చేయిస్తారు
ఇది మీ టర్న్ మీరు చేయండి కావాలి.
ఓకే. మాయాం వర్ణయతో ముష్య
మాయాం వర్ణయతో ముష్య
ఈశ్వరస్యానుమోదతః
ఈశ్వరస్యానుమోదతః
శృణ్వత శ్రద్ధయా నిత్యం మాయయాత్మానముహ్యతి. So actually this verse says why we should listen about creation of the Lord. Even though if we don't understand anything, one good thing happens when we hear about a creation. That is, we will be protected from Maya. Okay, that is what this verse describes. Frankly speaking, did you understand anything about creation? Especially these two chapters, 6 and 7 chapter. We'll be very frank. No need to say that I tried to understand. No, it's okay. Did you really understand or not?
ప్రభుజీ ఆ మూమెంట్ లో అర్థం అవుతున్నట్టే అనిపిస్తుంది. మళ్ళీ ముందు ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ అలా
హరి బోల్. దట్ ఈస్ హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ మాది. ఆ ఒక్క వర్ష చదివితే మొత్తం అంతా బాగానే ఉంది కదా, అర్థమైంది కదా అనిపిస్తుంది. ఒక 2 వర్షాల తర్వాత చదివితే అది ఏంటిది కాంటెక్స్ట్ అర్థం కాదు మళ్ళీ. So now these are the answers for the yat shrishtam, all these things. Okay.
Yeah.
Narada asked 6 questions, no?
Yeah.
And before that, Parikshit asked 6 questions. So for answers of all those things, we have studied till now.
Yeah.
Are you there with me in this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Everyone?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Answers we get in 6 and 7. He will give in 2 chapters, he will give the answers. Actually, first canto anta what we have done, we have done about the introduction of the speaker, introduction of the listener, and introduction of the whole background of what we are about to speak. Adi first kante anta. Adi gurtundi kada meeku?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And 6 questions of the listener.
Naimisharanya sages.
Yeah. No. Naimisharanya sages asked what happened there.
Oh, okay. After that, Parikshit Maharaj's questions.
Parikshit Maharaj 6 questions. And then now the sages of Naimisharanya will describe the background of the speaker. Who is the speaker? Vyasadeva. How he was not
Prabhuji, what
satisfied.
were the 6 questions of Parikshit Maharaj? Prabhuji, sorry. I forgot. అప్పుడు మీరు ఏదో ఇచ్చారు కూడా ఐ థింక్ టేబుల్ లో.
Okay. If someone has this, what to say, in our chat only it is there, Mataji. Our Giraj Prabhu typed. Okay. Blossom or lotus, what is it? I should check it, Mataji. But 6 questions are like this: what are Gunavtaras, Leelavtaras, and what is good for everything, good for everyone, and which is the utmost religion, and
at the time of death, what should one listen to?
ఎవరో గుర్తుపెట్టుకున్నారు మాతాజీ, ఎవరికో గుర్తున్నాయి వాళ్ళని కొంచెం.
పల్స్ ప్రభుజీ.
పల్స్. ఓకే. పురుషోత్తర.
Is it peoples or pulse? Peoples.
Yeah, peoples. Okay.
Peoples.
Yeah. Purushotharas, and U means ultimate good for everything. L means Leelavtaras. S means
Shelter.
Shelter. Where does religion take shelter after? You know what is it? Krishna leaving this place. Okay. E and enta Mataji?
Essence Prabhuji. Essence of all scriptures.
Essence of all scriptures. Okay. Thank you.
Haribol Mataji.
Hari.
Advantage of being young.
Yeah, being together.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so those 6 questions and the introduction of what you say, Vyasadeva, how he wrote Bhagavatam, and the introduction of Krishna, the subject matter, and the introduction of Parikshit Maharaj, the listener, and his 6 questions. The whole canto finished. Okay. Then we started with the second chapter, second canto. What is the second canto? Now the listener is asking questions to the speaker. Okay. The 6 preliminary questions and answers to that is, Parikshit Maharaj says that, Sukadeva Goswami says that the same questions was asked by Narada to Brahma. Okay. So Brahma replied in this way, that are these 2 chapters. Understood, na?
Yes, Prabhuji.
6th and 7th, we are here till now. See, why I am stressing here is, from now on, the whole Bhagavatam changes. Okay. Bhagavatam actually starts from now. The different topics of Bhagavatam starts from 2.8. In 2.8, Parikshit Maharaj again asks some questions, the answers of which is whole Bhagavatam. Understood till here, na? You are all with me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Haribol, 1 yes is coming always.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Because until unless we don't know the context, we cannot go ahead with the thing. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. So you can read the translation, Prabhuji. And then
No, not me. It's some other's turn, Mataji. It's not me. I have just taken in between.
No, that was your turn only. You did the shloka, so you do the translation. There are 3 more people.
Yeah.
Raj Prabhuji, Chandrabali Prabhuji, and Akinchan Prabhuji. So they'll do the 3 paragraphs of purport.
Okay, Mataji. Sure. The Lord's activities. Translation. The Lord's activities in association with his different energies should be described, appreciated, and heard in accordance with the teachings of Supreme Lord. If this is done regularly with devotion and respect, one is sure to get out of the illusory energy of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Raji Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Are you there?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
First paragraph, Prabhuji.
Oh, yeah, sure, Mataji. Purport: the science of learning a subject matter seriously is different from the sentiments of fanatics. Fanatics or fools may consider the Lord activities in relation with the external energy to be useless for them, and they may falsely come to be higher participants in the internal energy of the Lord. But factually, the Lord's activities in relation with the external energy and the internal energy are equally good. On the other hand, those who are not completely free from the clutches of the Lord's external energy should devotedly hear regularly about the activities of the Lord in relation with the external energy. They should not foolishly jump up to the activities of the Lord's internal energy, falsely attracted by such activities as is Rasa Leela. The cheap reciters of the Bhagavatam are very much enthusiastic about the activities of the Lord's internal potency, and the pseudo devotees observed in the material sense enjoyment falsely jump to the stage of liberated souls and thus fall down deeply into the clutches of external energy. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji, are you there?
Yeah, Chandraman Prabhu. Second para, Chaitanya.
Yeah. Some of them think that to hear about the pastimes of the Lord means to hear about his activities with Mataji. It's missing something. Would you please scroll right side? Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Prabhuji, what happened? Oh.
Yeah. Yes. Some of them think that to hear about the pastimes of the Lord means to hear about his activities with the gopis or about his pastimes like lifting the Govardhana hill, and they have nothing to do with the Lord's plenary expansions as the Purushavasaras and their pastimes of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material worlds. But a pure devotee knows that there is no difference between the pastimes of the Lord, either in Rasalila or in creation, maintenance, or destruction of the material world. Rather, the descriptions of such activities of the Lord as the Purusavataras are specifically meant for persons who are in the clutches of the external energy. Topics like the Rasalila are meant for the liberated souls and not for the conditioned souls. The conditioned souls, therefore, must hear with appreciation and devotion of the Lord's pastimes in relationship with the external energy, and such acts are as good as the hearing of Rasalila in the liberated states. A conditioned soul should not imitate the activities of the liberated souls. Lord Sri Chaitanya never indulged in hearing the Rasalila with ordinary men. Hare Krishna.
Kinchan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Last, can you just end this?
Yeah. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the science of God, the first 9 cantos prepare the ground for hearing the 10th canto. This will be further explained in the last chapter in this canto. In the 3rd canto, it is more explicit. A pure devotee of the Lord, therefore, must begin reading or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the very beginning and not from the 10th canto. We have several times been requested by some so-called devotees to take up the 10th canto immediately. But we have refrained from such an action because we wish to present Srimad Bhagavatam as a science of Godhead and not as a sensuous understanding for the conditioned souls. This is forbidden by such authorities as Sri Brahmaji. By reading and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam as a scientific presentation, the conditioned souls will gradually be promoted to the higher status of the transcendental knowledge after being freed from the illusory energy based on the sense enjoyment. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 2nd canto of 7th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we'll start with Bhakti Shastri Slokas. Prabhuji, nena Karpatya dosha అయిపోయింది. Today you said you can do 2-3 shlokas.
Yes, Mataji.
So there is Dehinosmin Yatha Dehe, Najayate Mriyate Kadachi, and Bhogaishwarya Prasaktanam. So you can take it at your pace, Prabhuji.
Okay, we will finish 2. Third one, we will check if we have time, Mataji. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
It's a very easy shloka, this one is. Dehinosmin yata dehe. Okay. Kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatranam muhyati. Actually, the important word is dhira and muhyati. Okay. So dhira, which we Telugu people have in our mind, means dhairyam. Okay. Generally, from our childhood, we got associated. Dhira means dhairyam, but that is not the thing. Okay. Dhira means a sober person, a constant, a person who thinks is very stable. That is known as dhira. Okay. And why it is associated with dhairyam? Because even in the very warlike situations also, generally Kshatriyas are very stable. In those unpredictable situations, they will be stable. That's the reason why it has been connected to dhira. But actually, dhira means very sober person. Okay, this we should always remember, especially people who have seen to the Telugu films and all. They have this conception of dhira means they always conclude it or joined it with dhairya. It's not the thing. Dhira means a stable person, a stable in very unstable circumstances. Okay. So who are all having this, what is it, Bhakti Shastri now in this group? Chandramouli Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Sandhya Mataji?
Myself, Prabhuji. Samyukta and Ramreddy Prabhuji.
Ramreddy Prabhuji.
Acha, వీళ్ళు నలుగురు ఉన్నారు అంతేనా?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. As all of you are very well versed with other verses now, so I am directly going this verse without meanings, Mataji. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, okay, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this word is this shloka is direct. We have direct meanings in this shloka. In order to go very deep into it, just we have to contemplate 1 or 2 times. That's enough. Okay. So I am going directly with the recitation, Mataji. I will go 2 lines together 3 times and the whole shloka 3 times. Then you can do directly in individual practice. Okay. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe
kaumaram yavvanam jara.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara.
तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर् धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
तथा
देहांतर प्राप्तिर् धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर् धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
तथा
देहांतर प्राप्तिर् धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर् धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर् धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर् धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरा प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तर प्राप्ते धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे
कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरा प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तर प्राप्ते धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे
कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरा
प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न
प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So you can start with your recitations, individual practices like Ramareddy Prabhu, Sandhya Bhagavati or Samyukta Mataji. You can start and then we will go to the sequence.
Bhagavad Gita 2.13 Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra na mukhyati.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, you can go with the translation also because you have exams.
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare. Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I'll do it at the end, Prabhu. Sorry.
Last to Jastara?
On, Prabhu.
Yeah. Or this one, who else has this? Sandhya Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra na muhyati. Translation. As embodied soul continuously passes in this body from bodyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Or Chandramani Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra na muhyati. Translation. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Ramareddy Prabhu, Vijay last to Jastara?
Hare Krishna, Vijay Prabhu.
Chesan.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra na muhyati. Translation. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Lavanya Mataji?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Bhagavad Gita 2. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra na muhyati.
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरः प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
Thank you, Mataji. Sirisha Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरा प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
Rajguru Bonara Mataji.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
పిల్లలే
Okay. I am outside, but is it visible, Prabhuji? Sir, audible?
Yeah, audible. Go ahead.
My voice is audible, Prabhuji? Yeah. Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
Thank you, Prabhu. Akinjan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara तथा देहान्तरा प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll go to the next. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
This is the next one, no? Okay. Hari Bol. So this is. Can someone of you go with the synonyms? Two devotees who are about to give an exam. Okay, two devotees can go with the synonyms.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now,
Yeah.
Matas, please go ahead.
Synonyms: na, never; jayate, takes birth; mriyate, dies; va, either; kadachit, at any time, past, present, or future; na, never; I am this; bhutva, having come into being; bhavita, will come to be; va, or; na, not; bhuya, or is again coming to be; ajah, unborn; nitya, eternal; shashvata, permanent; I am this; purana, the oldest; na, never; hanyate, is killed; hanyamane, being killed; sharire, the body. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Now, yeah, Chandramali Prabhu, go ahead.
Na, never; jayate, takes birth; mriyate, dies; va, either; kadachit, at any time, past, present, or future; na, never; I am this; bhutva, having come into the being; bhavita, will come to be; va, or; na, not; bhuya, or is again coming to be; aja, unborn; nitya, eternal; shashvata, permanent; I am this; purna, the oldest; na, never; hanyate, is killed; hanyamane, being killed; sharire, the body. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone else wanted to do one more devotee because we have time?
I'll do, Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Na, never; jayate, takes birth; mriyate, dies; va, either; kadachit, at any time, past, present, or future; na, never; I am this; bhutva, having come into being; bhavita, will come to be; va, or; na, not; bhuyaha, or is again coming to be; ajaha, unborn; nityaha, eternal; shashvataha, permanent; I am this; puranaha, the oldest; na, never; hanyate, is killed; hanyamane, being killed; sharire, the body. Translation also, Prabhuji.
No, enough, Mataji. Now, like Deepa Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay. Lavanya Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah. How would you measure this actually? Means your what you say like Bhagavad Gita recitations रहता है ना?
అంటే
Chapter
మేము
recitations.
అది అంటే నేను నాకు ఎట్లా అంటే మా ప్రభుజీ చెప్పిన దానిలాగా నేను పాడాను ప్రభుజీ. నా
Yeah.
జాతే మ్రియతే వా కదాచిన్ नायं भूत्वा भविता न भूया अजो नित्या शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
అంటే దీన్ని మీటర్లోకి తీసుకొస్తారా లేకపోతే మీ యాక్చువల్లీ మన అనుష్ఠుప్ చంద్రలో వాడతారని అడుగుతున్నాను యాక్చువల్లీ. సో
ఎలా పాడతారు ప్రభు?
ఉంటుంది మరి ఉంది. సరే దీన్ని ఫాలో అవుతుంది.
ఇంకో ట్యూన్ కూడా ఉంది. నా జాయతే మ్రియతే వా కదాచిన్ నాయం భూత్వా భవితా వా న భూయా అజో నిత్య శాశ్వతోయం పురాణో న హన్యతే హన్యమానే శరీరే.
Yeah, this one Vedic metal. This is. So how do we go?
Actually, we can use any tune because this one will be oral recitation, Prabhuji. More important is knowing all the words and the translation. Whichever is comfortable to you, you can use the tune.
No, any one of you will take the lead. That's okay for me. Any of you. Lavanya
Mataji cheyagalra. నేను యాక్చువల్ గా బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ చేస్తాను.
ప్రభుజీ మీరు ఎలా పాడతారు ఇది?
మీరు పాడినట్టు మాత్రం సేమ్. మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక పాడారు కదా సేమ్ అని. అంటే నేను యాక్చువల్లీ అనుష్ఠుప్ ఎక్కువ వాడను, వేదిక్ మ్యాటర్స్ వాడను నేను. బట్ మీరు చేసేటే చేస్తాను మాత్రం నేను కూడా. అంటే అది మీరు యాక్చువల్లీ ఆర్ యూ what is comfortable with that or not? The wanted to ask because some devotees already practiced this earlier. I don't want to confuse them.
యాక్చువల్గా మాకు ఫస్ట్ బ్యాచ్ అయినప్పుడు నేను పోస్ట్ చేశా కాబట్టి మాకు అలా అలవాటైంది. కాబట్టి ఇప్పటి వాళ్ళకు మీరు చెప్పినట్టు చెప్పడం ఇట్స్ ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
Okay, so let us start it. Okay, 3 lines together. 3 lines like our regular pattern. Okay. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
न जायते
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
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 न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
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 न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वन भूयः
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भविता
भूयः
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वन भूयः
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं
नाहन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
अजो
अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
अजो
नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
न
न
हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न जायते म्रियते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वन भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न
जायते वा कदाचित् नायं भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वन भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वन भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न जायते
म्रियते वा कदाचित्
नायं
नायं
भूत्वा
भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
भूयः
अजो
अजो
नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
So now you can go for the individual practice. Deepa Mataji, can you please guide them? Because I need to leave.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Samita Mataji, start.
Deepa Mataji, if you want me to host, I can share Mataji.
No
Is it
problem,
okay?
Prabhuji. I made an alternate arrangement for them.
Okay, Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 2.20 न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Translation: For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Translation: For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Hare Krishna.
Sandhya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. न जायते म्रियत यतेव कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वन भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
Mataji, ఇంకోసారి చేస్తారా?
ఎస్ మాతాజీ. యాక్చువల్లీ ప్రభుజీ చెప్పేటప్పుడు నాకు కాల్ వచ్చింది మా డాడీ నుంచి, సో ఐ మిస్డ్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్.
Should I tell you? Will you repeat after that?
Yes, Mataji.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
न जायते म्रियत यतेव कदाचिन् नायं
అక్కడ బ్రేక్ ఇవ్వకండి. మ్రియతే న జాయతే మ్రియతే వా కదాచిన్. తేవా తేవాని కలపండి, మ్రియ దగ్గర బ్రేక్ ఇవ్వండి. మ్రియతే వా కదాచిన్. ఆ మ్రియనేమో షార్ట్ పెట్టాలి, అప్పుడు మీకు వచ్చేస్తుంది. అంటే ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ అబౌట్ ఫిట్టింగ్ ద వర్డ్స్ ఇన్ ద ట్యూన్.
Yes, Mataji. I'll try. न जायते म्रियते व
न
जायते म्रियते
वा कदाचिन्
कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वन भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. I need to practice, Mataji.
No problem, Mataji. You can write.
Because I did not practice it, Prabhuji.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Translation: For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Mataji, if you are free, the voice print pettara, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Sure. Then Chandramali Prabhu.
न जायते म्रियते व कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वन भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Translation: For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into the being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Hare Krishna.
Akinchan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् लयं भूत्वा भविता वन भूया अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हल्यते हल्यमाने शरीरे. हरे कृष्ण.
Next, Raju Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita 2.20. Na jayate kuriyate va kadachin
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो नाहन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
Very nice, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Srisha Mataji unnara?
Yeah.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो नाहन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Is everybody done? Akinchan Prabhu?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜೇಸಲ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ
చేశారా?
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲ
లేదు పర్వాలేదు.
చేశారు
లావణ్య మాతాజీ.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 2.20. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया अजो नित्या शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So we'll conclude the call. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद बुक रीडिंग की जय. श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की जय. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय. हरे कृष्ण. दंडवत प्रभु. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.